Welcome to the TWC Med Talks. I'm here today with Dr. Jen VanDewater, PharmD. Great to have you, Jen.
Great to be here, Chris. Thank you.
So we have seen a lot of discussion in the media and a lot of interest from our customers about spike proteins, and there's a lot of interest in naturalistic ways that you might be able to deal with spike proteins. So we thought we'd talk about some really important ingredients and just kind of educate people about what spike proteins are and how it might affect them. So to start, Jen, could you tell us a little bit about spike proteins and how they relate to COVID and why people are so concerned?
Sure, I'd be happy to. So the spike proteins, what happens is they actually cause an increased inflammatory response, especially when they're elevated. And in certain people, they might target certain organs or areas of the body a little more heavily. Some people noticed prolonged upper respiratory infections. They have a cough. Some people may feel nauseated. I mean, there's just different ways that they can affect people. And it can come from contact with others, through having an infection. These spike proteins can linger and hang around for a while.
And what causes this, or what causes this increase in spike proteins?
So it's through the viral process. When it goes into the cell, it's replicating and releasing these spike proteins.
And isn't that supposed to be a feature, as they've explained it, for the COVID vaccination, that it produces these spike proteins? Is that not the intent? And then you have potentially too many of them? Is that kind of the core of the issue?
Correct. It's an overload on the body. And then when you do have the COVID injection, correct, there is an increase in abundance of these spike proteins. And then after a while, they build up if there's no way to get them to be expelled or removed from the body. That's where people are concerned the most. And if people even question the validity of shedding, that is what it's called when the spike proteins, the Pfizer leaked documents actually say that that is something that does occur with the COVID injection.
So there is a shedding phenomenon. One of the vaccine makers have acknowledged it. And what I think people are very concerned about is how can they address these spike proteins if they're concerned about a prolonged exposure and this kind of accumulation, I think, as you describe it. So there's a few ingredients that have, I guess, initial studies have shown are very useful or helpful. I think perhaps the star of it that we've seen the most in the past, certainly 2 weeks, is nattokinase. Can you talk a little bit about what that is and what it does?
Sure. Nattokinase is like a protein enzyme, or some people even say peptide. And nattokinase is unique. It has multiple functions that actually help someone that could have any effects due to spike proteins. So the first one that, we've noticed right away, and it's been used for many years, is for decreasing clot formation. So it's a natural anti-fibrinolytic agent. Recently, within the last few months, the end of the year of 2022, new information came out that the nattokinase actually degrades or dissolves the spike protein that's in the bloodstream. So that's an added benefit that we were not aware of until recently. And I believe more studies are probably being done with this new information that's come out on this ingredient.
Interesting. And I guess this comes from, or the research was heavily done in Japan. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, it was done in Japan.
So another ingredient that we're hearing quite a bit about, and I guess not only for spike protein, but for other health benefits, is dandelion extract. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Dandelion root extract actually inhibits and neutralizes the spike protein. So the spike protein binds to an ACE receptor that we have in our body. And so the dandelion root kind of mimics and looks like the spike protein. So it binds to it and is able to neutralize it from having damage caused. And dandelion root as well is known for its antibacterial and antiviral properties. So there's a lot of these ingredients, they have multiple benefits. It's not just one and done. There's a lot of reasons they're used in other areas of our health as well.
Sure. And what for dandelion extract, what form does it come in? Is it generally reduced to a powder, or how does that work? How much would you perhaps have in a day of it?
Ours that we have looked into is a 10-to-1 ratio. So you have to really do some research and make sure when it's an extract. An extract is a little more potent. So you want to make sure that you're looking into it correctly when you're researching what kind of dandelion root to take. The extract, again, is one of the better formulations to have. And just make sure you do the research and seeing how much. And so that's where it's best to just know what product you're getting.
Great. And what about Irish sea moss? Is that useful in addressing concerns about spike protein?
Yeah, Irish sea moss is a unique and a new product for me. I was interested when I came across this and did some research. And you would think, hearing it's Irish sea moss, you would think it's kind of like seaweed, but it's really not like seaweed. And Irish sea moss is very, very high in minerals. And when it's high in those minerals, it goes through and it's able to help in some damage that's been caused in your endothelial lining or in the tissues that's been caused by the spike proteins or any other damage that's been caused. I actually recommended this for my sister after she had surgery to just help in the healing process. And she really believed that by using just Irish sea moss, she was able to heal a lot quicker.
Well, that's great for everybody. And a couple other ingredients that seem to be useful I wanted to ask you about. What about selenium?
So selenium is really great to help with inflammatory responses. And a lot of times when you are even unwell or encountering spike proteins, you have an increased inflammatory response. So selenium really helps take off the oxidative stress that's caused on the body from an increased inflammatory response.
Great. And how about black sativa?
Black sativa is also known to people as black cumin seed oil. That's how most people actually would see it and research it to look it up. Black cumin seed oil is very similar to the dandelion root extract. It binds and inhibits and neutralizes the spike proteins from having prolonged damage. And again, another multiple benefit of black cumin seed oil, it's a natural antiviral and natural antibiotic. So it helps, again, keep your immune system supported, keep you healthy, able to withstand anything that kind of comes your way with regard to being unwell.
And last, what about green tea extract? What can that do?
Green tea extract has a component in it, ECGC. And don't ask me to say that whole word of what that actually breaks down to. It's a tongue twister. But ECGC helps, another antioxidative measure, along with the selenium, to decrease inflammation, help keep your body naturally flowing, and helps clear up free radicals. And a lot of times, too, when you encounter spike proteins or any viral illness, you have oxidative stress on the body. And you have the production of free radicals, and you really don't want those roaming around. So the ECGC in the green tea extract helps to clear that up.
Great. So last, I would ask, if you were to combine all of these ingredients together, selenium, black sativa, Irish sea moss, green tea extract, nattokinase, and dandelion extract, could those work together if you took all of them together at the same time? And how would they interplay with each other?
Yes, they would be great together combined, because then you would have the black cumin seed oil and the dandelion root extract to do the binding and neutralizing and helping the body eliminate the spike protein. You'd have the Irish sea moss to help do any repair of any damage that's been caused. You'd have the selenium and the ECGC help with oxidative stress and inflammation. And then, of course, you'd have the nattokinase, which would help dissolve and degrade the spike protein and also help decrease any possible clot formation that can occur.
Well, great. It's amazing to learn about these different ingredients and how they work and how they might work together. So, Dr. Jen VanDewater, thank you so much for explaining that today.
You're welcome. Hope it helps a lot of people.
Great, thanks.